Monday, greetings to you all. Monday, a special greeting in my father tongue. My father tongue, Limba, because I told you that I am a Ghanaian Sierra Leonean on my dad's side, and Sierra Leone is on my paternal side. I'm mixed with Sierra Leone ancestry or roots, my paternal side. Now, my message is tied to African child. Be confident in who you are. Rise against all odds. And at the same time, too, do not let anybody put you down. African child. Be confident. Rise against all odds. Do not let nobody put you down. And the reason why I titled this message is that African child, and I'm referring to the African men, women, sons and daughters of the African soil, is that sometimes we look down upon ourselves and we say that because we're Africans, that's why we cannot do this and that. But I want to tell you that be confident in who you are. Being African is nothing shameful. It's something you should be proud. It's something you should, be proud. And as I usual, I tell you that I have to use the scripture because I want to build up or transform the African mind. And the scripture, it says, be strong and courageous. So, African child, be strong and courageous. The South African, the Ghanaian, the Sierra Leonean, the Nigerian, the Malawian, the Congolese, the Gabonese, the whole of African people. I want to tell you is that African child, be confident in who you are. Be confident because you're a strong son, you're a strong daughter. Now, I cannot start my podcast without paying respect and allegiance to my fatherland, Sierra Leone. So please stand with me as, we have time or we pledge allegiance to the Sierra Leone national anthem. Let us, the Sierra Leone national anthem. Hey zamina mina watiwa, hey zamina mina watiwa, zamina mina aye. Hey zamina mina watiwa, hey zamina mina watiwa, zamina mina aye. Respect, respect, respect. big ups to my fatherland, Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone. Now Sierra Leone boy me be. Yes, I'm a Sierra Leone boy. Sierra Leone Pekin. I love Sierra Leone. I love my fatherland. So do I love Ghana. And I love my motherland as well. So welcome to my podcast, An African Child. Be confident in who you are. If you have not seen my first video, it talks about South Africa issue. And my first video, you saw me with my Ghana jersey and the Ghana national team. And I was showing love to Ghana during that stream. So I'm showing love to my fatherland, Sierra Leone as well. African child, be confident in who you are. And the reason why is, I'm in the US here, and I've come to realize in my circles, some Africans have this mindset that because I have an accent, because I'm from Africa, I don't have opportunities. Because I'm from Africa, people think this about me. Because I'm from Africa, people don't want to give me, privilege as other people. But I want to tell you that African child, be confident in who you are. Listen, I want to build your self-esteem. Cause me, I went to high school as a young Ghanaian Sierra Leonean boy in high school. I rise against all odds. One thing I want you to know that I wherever I go, I shine. People know the African in me. I shine. And I don't allow people to look down upon me because I'm an African. People to tell me this and that. And I realized that the African child, the African sons and daughters don't have confidence. Some of them lack confidence. But I want to tell you, be strong and courageous. The scripture says, be strong and courageous. So Africans, be strong and courageous. Stand on your feet. Rise up. Be a giant. Be bold. Listen, one thing about me, people think I'm prideful, but one thing about me is, I'm a very quiet person. I am humble to some extreme. But for me, my confidence is my pride. What do I mean by that? My confidence is my pride. When I'm confident, I am very passionate. The fire is burning. I'm strong. I'm bold. Like I can put two heads together. That's me. When I'm confident, I don't blink an eye. I don't choose side. I say my mind. I stand up for what I believe in. That's me. Be confident. African child, I want to build up your self-esteem. Listen, do not think low of yourself. Think highly of yourself. Be renewed by the transforming of the mind. African child, renew your thinking. Because I'm African. No. Do not have that negative mindset. Whenever you think because I'm African, see it from a positive lens. Don't see it from a negative way. Being African is not a curse. It's something beautiful that you have to hold in high esteem. It's something you have to cherish. Being African is beautiful. Being African is being unique. Being African it means you are unique. There's something unique. There's something so precious about you. Being African is nothing to be ashamed of. Kwame Nkrumah made this statement. I was born in Africa, not because it's my birthplace. In that statement he made, he said, I was born in Africa, not because, he was born in Africa. He was born in Africa because what? Africa was born in him. So we are not Africans because we are born in Africa. We are not Africans because you're of African ancestral descent. We are African because the Africanness is inside us. It's in our spirit, soul, and in our blood, and in our DNA. And however we go, in our aura, and however we represent ourselves, the African is in us. So African child, be confident. Do not look down upon yourself. Be strong and courageous. Do not think that Oyibo is better than you. Muzungu is better than you. No. Listen, what is different from the Muzungu in you? The Muzungu or those people are human beings like me and you. The only thing that you think Muzungu is different from you is not about the skin color. Here. Because the Muzungu mindsets let me tell you this. They think they are smart, but they are not. Smart in a foolish way. But at the same time, to the African, think foolishness means being humble. No. You can be humble and wise, When you are humble, being humble doesn't mean being stupid. Being humble, go with wisdom. You can't be humble and foolish or stupid. No. African child, be renewed in the mind. Be confident. Speak up. Stand up for your rights. Stand up against injustice. When you see your fellow African brother being treated horrible, stand up for your rights. Stand up for humanity. Stand up for what is right, what is honoring, what brings honor to the Most High. Stand up for what is right. Stand up for what brings, peace. Stand up for what spread love among Africans. Stand up for what is right. The African child. Do not choose side. Stand up for your African brothers and sisters. Stand up in the right way. The African child. You are in the Western world. You are afraid of a Westerner. Who is a Westerner? What is so special about the Westerner? You are also special. The same way the Westerner thinks he's better than you and he's created unique. So are you, African child. You are better and created unique. Rise against all odds. Stand as a giant. Be bold. Be confident in who you are. Go out there. Tell them. Let the world know you are African and proud. You are African and confident in who you are. Do not think low of yourself. The scripture says, be strong and courageous, African child. Stand against all odds. Be bold in who you are. Proclaim your African identity and do not blink an eye. Tell them you are Zambian. Tell them you are South African. Tell them you are Ghanaian. Tell them you are Togolese. Tell them you are Nigerian. Tell them you are Malawian. Tell them you are Zambian. Tell them you are Zimbabwean. Tell them you are Kenyan. Tell them you are Ugandan. Whatever African country you come from, do not feel ashamed of who you are. Be confident. Forget about the negativity out there in the Western media, trying to find ways to bring Africa down. Be confident in who you are. Stand against all odds. When somebody wants to say nasty stuff about Africa, put them in their rightful places. I'm out. My next podcast is on Friday. Friday, I'll be talking about the important role of the African woman and Africa excellence. So Friday, tune into that video. And my second video on Friday, I'll be talking about borderless Africa. Why we don't need colonial borders. We don't need visa to visit other African countries. When you look at the European Union, people who are part of the European Union, they don't need, visa to go to a different European country. It's only some points they have to use Schengen visa. And, the UK being among the, now UK is not part of the the European Union. UK is not part of the European Union. So I believe when people want to visit the UK, they might need visa to go there. But African people, we are not them. We are different. That's why we need borderless Africa. Borderless in a rightful way. At the same time too, people say they don't agree with the borderless because it will let illegal people do crazy stuff. No matter whether we create a borderless Africa or not, people who are stupid, fraudsters, slave mentality, stupidity, non-entity will find ways. It doesn't matter. Borderless Africa is needed because when we had empires and kingdom, we never had borders. When Ashanti Kingdom was spreading from Ashanti region down to Ivory Coast and other areas in West Africa, we didn't create borders. When Akwa Ibom and the Ibiobos of Nigeria were having their kingdom and spreading to the central Ghana, they didn't need borders. When you had kingdoms like Zulu Kingdom, not only extending from South Africa, it extended from South Africa to different part of Africa. They didn't need a border. Many kingdoms, the Dahomey kingdoms and the Oyo Kingdom, we didn't need borders. So why now? Listen, people don't know this. Kenya and Tanzania is one. I watched this video. There's some parts when you cross a line, it tells you that welcome to Tanzania. And when you cross the other line, it say welcome to Kenya. So Kenya and Tanzania, why don't you come together? Why do we need a border? We don't need a border. We need a borderless Africa. Borderless Africa for the African, based on the African unity and love, and at the same time too, Africans working together. If I want to work with if I want to see my other African family, why do you restrict me? of the privileges. But in the borderless Africa, the visa, we should not have visa. When you pick up your passport, you go through the immigration system. They screen you and know that you are not a criminal. You are not coming to do anything fishy. They let you in. Borderless Africa doesn't mean abuse it. No. Respect it, value it, and when you go to other African country, go through the right procedure. Go with your passports. Go through the immigration screening and everything, and then you're good to go. Do not say borderless Africa, so you're coming as illegal. No, that's not what I'm preaching. Subscribe to this YouTube podcast. Let the message be known. My Ghanaian and Sierra Leone people, this is your baby boy, Ghana child, Sierra Leone Pekin. Proud to be Ghanaian, Sierra Leonean, forever loyal to my country of origin, and apart from that, forever loyal to the African continent. I am a son of African continent. I represent all African nation, and I'm proud. Hey Zaminamina Watiwa, hey Zaminamina Watiwa, Zaminamina, yeah, subscribe to my YouTube channel. One love. Peace out.